Hi everyone. Today I want to share a journal that I made for a swap over on the Junk Journal Junkies Facebook group. It's been a long time since I did a swap over there, and this one just appealed to me. It's for a Shabby Roses Traveler's Notebook sized journal, and that's what I have created. So let me show you. The idea was for the cover to be a soft cover, so you could use fabric or you could use cardstock, just nothing hard covered. And so what I did was collage a piece of cardstock. I have added a little bit of craft paper around the edge as I like to do, and I've just closed it with this a little bit of thin ribbon that has a little bit of gold edging on it. Let me show you, that is the collage that I've done. So I've used a lot of Ruby and Pearl and a lot of Amity Bloom throughout this. It ended up being a little bit more pink than I had anticipated it to be. However, I really do like the way it's turned out. So let me show you inside. So I've just used a little bit of coffee dyed, actually it's not coffee dyed, I printed onto a piece of tracing paper. I printed a coffee dye printable. I usually use craft baking paper for my pockets, but I thought it was a little bit too dark and a little bit too grungy for this particular project, and so that's why I used some lighter pockets here. And then I've just added a little bit of lace, coffee dyed lace. In the pocket, I have, that's a Tsunami Rose floral printable, and I've just cut it out to use as a journaling spot. I've stamped my note stamp there, die cut, and then this is just a craft paper bag, and I've just collaged a few of the scraps from this project over top of that. And then inside I've just got a little tag that's from the Amity Bloom collection, and I've just added a little bit of dotted sari ribbon there. And down below I will list for you the kits that I used throughout this from Amity Bloom and Ruby and Pearl. Amity Bloom has the new torn paper strips bundles in her shop, and I was just dying to use them, so that's what you see here, and you'll see that throughout. On the first page here, it's a bag, and I've added an old photo from Ruby and Pearl, and I printed that on glossy photo paper so it looks like a real photo, and backed it with some craft paper and a little bit of sheer fabric. And in that I have a tag that's a printable. I've just reduced in size a page from Amity Bloom, and then I've just added a tab with a little bit of trim on it. Great place to add a few notes, and then I've just stamped it note to self on the back. Here I've got a piece of vintage ledger. Let me just see here that I've added a pocket to, so you can see the ledger paper there. That's the ledger paper. And then I've added a pocket and just a little floral image, and then this is from Ruby and Pearl, and again it's a photo that I've printed on some glossy photo paper. And throughout I've used my rusted paper clips. Amity Bloom page, I've backed it with an avocado dyed printable from Angela Kerr. I just added a tab here with a little bit of tissue paper, a little bit of aged tape there. On this side, I have another Amity Bloom tag, and then I've added throughout, I've used a little bit of twine. I just really like that kind of craft color. It's a little bit of a different texture, so I've used that throughout as well. And then this is just a printable from Amity Bloom that I've reduced in size, and then I've just stamped it here at the bottom, so another place for a little bit of journaling. Some vintage music paper, little sari ribbon ruffle that I've added some trim to here. On this side, I've got a top tuck spot here, and then I have added Tim Holtz frame die, and I've just used a piece of glitter paper that I had to cut that out. And then another rose image here that I have added and did a bit of stamping on. I've done some printing on vellum here that you can see. And then on this side, I've punched holes in this piece of graph paper and added a little bit of trim to the side there. On this side, I have clipped on a long pocket. Sorry, I've clipped on a long pocket that I've stamped here, and I don't have anything in the actual envelope, but it's a great spot to add some, I don't know, tickets or something, notes or something like that from an event. In this little lace pocket that I have here, this is just a little Polaroid that I just bought. I'll have to list the shop below because I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the shop at this point. So I've added that. I thought that was pretty, and it could be added to any of the pages as a tuck spot or just an extra journaling spot. I've created this journaling card from one of the Ruby and Pearl wallpaper pages and just added a tab at the top there. And then this is an Amity Bloom paper bag, printable paper bag that I printed onto tissue paper. And then I've just added this tag that I have embossed and just added a little bit of tulle at the top. We'll do that later. Just added another tab here with some aged tape. This is that vintage ledger paper in pink. Here I've added a bag. Now I don't have anything in the back here, but there's an extra tuck spot there. I've added a little bit of trim and some buttons here. This is one of my favorite rose images, and then I backed it onto some craft paper and some of that dotted tulle again. And that craft paper is not really thick. It's what you would get at the post office if you were wrapping a parcel to send it out. So it's a really nice weight for this type of project. And then I've just added a tag here and added a little bit of that dotted black sari ribbon. And I have added a little bit of that throughout this project. And that is because there is a little bit of black on the cover. And I really find that black grounds a project and gives it some, depth isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. Some weight, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. A little side tuck here. Again, that's one of the torn paper strips from Amity Bloom that I've cut down, and then I've just created this journaling card with a bit of stamping, and I've added a little tab at the top there. Another tab here. This is a printed vellum pocket that I've added some trim to. And then just another tag, and then this is a journaling card that I've created. Here, oh goodness, I crunched that up a bit. Here's a little bit of a charm dangle, a couple of tags here, and then one of the Tim Holtz kind of diamond charms. So I've added that with a little bit of sari ribbon there. Another Amity Bloom aged torn strip there that I've just cut out for a little side pocket, and another journaling card that I've created with a tab. So lots of journaling space in here. In the center of the signature, I have added a couple of pockets. Here I have a tag that I've added. That's an Amity Bloom tag. I've added a Ruby and Pearl rose image on top and just a little bit of tulle there. And just another full page journaling spot that I have stamped on the back. On the other side, I've got a few things. This is the same paper, or same printable as this vellum pocket was, and I've just printed it on cardstock. That's a ruby and pearl paper strips printable that I've added some trim to, and then that's a Graphics Fairy postcard. This side, another fabric or sorry ribbon ruffle with some trim. This is another vellum pocket, a little bit of trim there, and I've added an Amity Bloom tag with a bit of that black sari ribbon, and then this is an Amity Bloom envelope. She had some great kits come out that really kind of lent themselves to this project, so I've used quite a few of her printables in this. This is from Ruby and Pearl. I think the latest kit, or one of the latest kits that she had, it was called Flora, which is some of that I've used on the front. And then there was a page that had some old photos, and so again I printed it on photo paper, a glossy photo paper, so it looks real. But on the back it's matte, so it's a great spot for journaling. So any of the photos that you see here would be a great spot to do some journaling. Another tab here. I've kind of spaced out a little bit of pink, a little bit of cream, a little bit of kind of light craft throughout this, a little bit of green as well. Another tag here, that is an embossed tag that I've added another rose image to with a little bit of tulle. So just lots of spots for journaling. Another tag. This is some kind of off-white sari ribbon, and then over top of it I've gathered some of that sheer tulle as well. The other part of that vellum page, or pockets, I've added a vintage doily piece underneath that one. In this side pocket I have an envelope here. That's an Amity Bloom envelope. I don't have anything in it, but it's a great spot to add pictures or hidden journaling. On this page I've added some lace for a pocket. I've added a little label here that could be used somewhere in the journal. This is another of the Ruby and Pearl photos that I have printed onto glossy photo paper, and then just an Amity Bloom tag here. Another ruffle here with some trim. In the back bag you can see another rose image, that's from Ruby and Pearl, and then inside it I have one of the envelope journaling spots. Those are from Amity Bloom as well. So it's an older kit, but I thought the colors were perfect for this particular project. Then at the back I have a square doily that I have, let me just take these things out so you can see. Square doily that I have folded into an envelope shape, and you can see the collaging, the additional collaging on the inside, on the back here. So I have a few things. I've got a couple of tags. The only thing about using sari ribbon in projects is it does get kind of crunched when you close your journal. However, a couple of tags, those are from Amity Bloom. And then this is another Amity Bloom page that I have reduced in size for extra journaling space. And then I have added a couple of smaller pieces here, another rose image and another from Ruby and Pearl, and this is from the same kit as the image you saw earlier on, so I will let you know where I got that as well. So that is my swap journal for the Shabby Roses swap over on the Junk Journal Junkies Facebook group. I hope you liked this. I had a lot of fun putting it together, and I'm really excited about doing a swap again. It's been a long time since I've done one, so I hope whoever my partner ends up being likes the journal, and I will be back soon.